Hey
Yeah.
Simone,
Good evening. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm great. I'm on a roll. Your interview number six.
Last one?
Last one, yes.
Excellent. Well, we'll make it the best one, no doubt.
Okay.
Okay, so
I'm,
new
I'm
album.
curious.
Oh, get ready, get ready.
All right,
Um,
I'm ready.
New album's out April 11th. Now it's been a little while since Epica's released a studio album. You've kept busy. You're probably one of the busiest bands in the world. But leading into this album, was there any fear, any indecision of what you were going to write about?
Well, lyrically, that's something that always comes kind of naturally, and I do keep myself inspired at all times and my phone close by to write down ideas that I can later shop from in a way. And with each new album, we strive to get the best result out of us. And with Epica, we have the luxury that everybody writes songs in the band, all the guys. I contribute vocally and with lyrics. So we never suffer from a lack of material. So that's a great thing for us. And we have the mutual passion for music for the band. So we're always motivated, and there's always this healthy dose of excitement. And of course, maybe I wouldn't say fear, but motivation to get the best result out of ourselves.
Wonderful. Now, the album speaks about renewal, inspiration, and everyone can take a lot out of that. For you, what gives you the renewed passion and inspiration to keep doing what you do?
It's a calling. It's in my blood in a way to sing, to create music, and the magic behind it, that the ideas you have in your head, you can really make them come to life and spread joy and hopefully accompany people in their lives and kind of yeah do something good with the music. And the metal scene is very thankful. It's a very lovely community to be part of, and yeah, we're just excited and motivated. And even after all those years, we've seen so many things, we've experienced already many milestones, but the passion for music stays strong. And I'm very curious to see what the future holds for Epica.
Now, not only is there Epica, there's your solo work,
Mhm.
and there's also just you're a mum, you're a parent. Now, as a
Yeah.
parent myself, my wife and I, we have a lot of children.
How
They got
many?
six.
Six. You're busy.
A lot of them are grown up now, so that's great. But
Oh, but you don't look older than 27, so.
I'll take that. I'm almost double that.
Oh, wow. But you
Yeah,
started young then, huh?
yeah. But
Yeah.
it's always a juggling act. So for
Yes.
you, how do you make sure that not one part of your life misses out? What's important to stop that happening?
Yeah, balance is key. And sometimes things get out of balance. But the good thing is that we have five Epica juniors now. So almost everybody is kind of in the same situation. So we try to keep a healthy balance of touring and being home, not missing the birthdays of our kids, at the milestones from our kids' lives. The oldest is 14, the youngest is 1. My son now is 11, and he grew up with both his parents being musicians. He loves music himself. He's going to musical school, and now he's at the age where he kind of can come on tour, and he really understands the job his parents do, and he's very proud. But it is definitely very hard. You always have to kind of make the switch when you go on tour to not think too much about it. And luckily, with modern technology, you can keep in touch much more, and that really keeps it, uh, yeah, kind of manageable. But it is definitely hard. But I'm very blessed that I get to have both.
No, I understand our youngest is 11, and All he wants to do is come in the photo pit with dad at gigs.
Oh yeah, yeah. My son is also now getting more into joining us on tour and helping out. And he plays piano, cello. He wants to be in a band himself, but we also try to encourage him and be realistic about it, that it's a tough job. And he basically sees his parents chronically tired, jet lagged, and and he now, because he's been traveling, he can see, okay, I can't always sleep as much as you want, but he hasn't experienced jet lag yet, luckily. But maybe one day I'll get to take him on tour when he has a school holiday, and maybe one day I will be in a photo pit admiring him on stage. Who knows?
Perfect. Now back to the album. It seems like it's an ending to the saga with this album. And with that, it also seems like there's a call out for change and the way we behave as humans. That's at least how I interpret it.
Mhm.
Is that an accurate assessment?
Yeah, very accurate indeed. I mean, we live in chaotic times. Being in being in the band, a musician is chaotic by itself. Struggling, like I said before, keeping everything in balance, family and being on the road. Life sometimes throws you off the track and you just gotta get back on track, I guess. And that's also what the album kind of embodies, the message that no matter how dark things get in the world, in your own life, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and that you just, out of each struggle, you become stronger and you evolve. And that's also something for us as a band that has happened many times. And the passion for music keeps us going, keeps me going. It's therapy, and it, yeah, gets me through, it has gotten me through a lot and still is very much one of my, yeah, biggest friends in life. That's music.
Wonderful. And speaking of the music, again, it's just an opinion here, but I feel on this album, Epica has gone a little bit more mainstream, shortened some of the track length down, and just maybe made the music a little bit more accessible to a wider audience. Was it like that for you, creating it?
Well, we wanted to incorporate some modern elements, but still stay in touch with the old Epica and keep all the facets that people know Epica sounds like. So, of course, the singles that we choose are the obvious ones, the shorter ones, the little bit more accessible, easier to digest. Um, but there are a couple of longer tracks on the album that have this kind of surprising song structure and cool mid parts, heavy parts, um, and are very complex. But those are not the ones we use for single choices. However, we do have a fourth single coming out, which is actually part three to the trilogy of video story, Arcana, Cross the Divide, and then the fourth single will be actually part three to the visual side of it. And that song is actually also quite interesting. I can't say which song it is yet, but I would say it's one of our coolest videos, also up to date now, where we can tap a little bit into the visual side of Epica, which I always enjoy very much. But yeah, on the album there are some modern elements, that's for sure, and that's kind of a result from the alchemy project that we did after Omega when the pandemic hit. We wanted to keep ourselves busy and our colleagues, so we initiated the alchemy project that gave us a little bit of playground to experiment more, and the feedback on that was very positive. So that's something that we took with us in the writing and creating of Aspiral as well.
There's been a lot of debate online that there's going to be no intro track on this album.
Mhm.
Is there an intro track, or is that actually track one?
It is track one. Yeah, Cross the Divide. We decided to switch things up a little bit with the music, also the visual side, and we wanted to go a little bit with the times, of course, now with the digital streaming, where luckily a lot of metalheads still buy the album and listen to the album from A to Z, start to finish, but it was kind of a conscious choice to have a song like that as a starter to kind of shake things up and Yeah, we definitely caused some commotion with that, but I think if you keep on repeating yourself, it becomes a little boring for yourself and for the fans. And the good thing is people can always play the album in the order that they want. It's not necessarily meant as a storyline to listen it to from beginning to the end. It's more that we made a musical collection of where we put which songs on the album. So yeah, people are welcome to play other songs that do have a long intro and start with that one. Luckily, that's always an option if you listen to it online, of course.
Sure. Now, albums were big for me as a kid. Was there one particular album that really still stands with you to this day that you love and you loved way back when?
Yeah, well, I started before I got into rock music. Of course, I loved pop music. I remember buying my first stereo machine, which was like two big towers and then a cassette player and a CD player on top. And I think when I bought that, I got like a compilation, double the digipack or jewel case. Digipacks didn't exist back then, of songs from the 90s. So, and my parents always had the radio running in the background. But the very first CD or single that I actually bought was Lenny Kravitz, Fly Away, from my allowance money. A couple of, it wasn't euros back then, it was still gulden. And when I got into rock music, metal music, I was a big fan of REM, Radiohead. So, um, Deftones, Silverchair, and then I made the switch to black metal. And I have toured with so many bands that I listen to. It's hard to pick one album. I think one of my favorite bands that stood the test of time and I still admire up to date, it would be Rammstein. And got to witness them live a couple times as well. Also followed Till Lindemann's solo career. So one of my favorite albums, of course, is also from Nightwish, Oceanborn, that kind of pushed me in the direction of becoming or taking classical singing lessons and starting thinking about being in the band myself. How would that be? So Oceanborn from Nightwish is still a beautiful album. I don't listen to it anymore, but I have listened to it a lot. And which album? Yeah, I've recently watched a couple of Rammstein video clips again that kind of gave me the itch to listen to Rammstein again. It's definitely one of my favorite bands to listen to when I work out because it gives you that
Yeah.
extra boost. And The Gathering Mendelian is a cult classic, so it's very difficult to choose one. There's so many amazing albums out there. I'm sure you can attest to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Our CD collection is huge. Um, Now back to your music. So Time, the song, is actually far more than just about the word time. For those who
Mhm.
haven't read anything online, there's been a few little snippets put out. What's the song about?
Well, it's actually time is the abbreviation for transformation, integration, metamorphosis, and evolution, I think, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. Because I've been saying this many times, but sometimes you do it without thinking too much.
Yep.
But it's basically about the art of dying and also in a way the death of the ego and of course time. Everybody, that's the only currency we have, that's time. Um, and it's limited, unfortunately. And of course, everybody thinks about what happens when we die and when it does our time come. So it's a little bit, it sounds very heavy, but it's also a light song, and that we should try to make the best of the time that we have before the bell will chime.
Yep. Do you feel that today we seem to have less time due to all of the technology around us?
Well, we're definitely slaves to our phones and yeah, mostly our phones. For me, it's a tool where that I use for work, that I use for entertainment, that I use for communication, staying in touch with all my loved ones. But I do often catch myself spending too much time on it, thinking, okay, I just wasted my time checking out things that didn't really enrich my life. It was just doom scrolling.
Yep.
I think we all have that. And I try to consciously put my phone down more and really go out and experience the world through my eyes and not through the phone. But it's a curse and a blessing at the same time. I see it with my son. I'm sure you see it with your kids as well.
Yep.
And also connecting social media with it, which is a part of my job, but at the same time also a curse and a blessing, where you have to find a healthy balance. And yeah, it's a thing.
Yep. Now, at the
Yeah.
moment, your album's not far off coming out. Is there a song that you're really just loving when it might come on a playlist, or you're just going through the motions and you hear one of the songs from the album and you just love it?
Yeah, that would be the Great Saga of Existence. That song to me is a great summary of Epica. You know, it really has everything that Epica is known for, that people recognize, and it has all the beautiful melodies, the intricate song structure, a really cool groovy breakdown in the middle part that it always gets me every time I listen to it. I just like, yeah, this feels good.
Yeah. Now, I've got to ask, there are so many, or either all female or female fronted bands coming out at the moment. And I see a lot of them, mention Epica, also like Nightwish. How does it feel to finally have like women staking their claim in metal?
I think it feels good. I mean, music is universal and it's not limited to just the male chromosomes.
Yep.
It's for everybody, and we are just vessels, and we are all capable of um channeling music. And I think everybody should be welcome, no matter what your gender is, no matter what your sexuality is, what your nationality is, your skin color. It's music's for everybody. And I think it's great that the world has opened up more also for female creators, artists, and I support that 100%.
Wonderful. Now, to finish up, I will get killed by not asking if I don't ask this question. Is there Australian tour plans for 25 or 26?
We are working on it, yes. We are mapping out the coming 2 years leading on to our 25th anniversary. And we are in touch with our booking agency to hopefully finally come back to Australia, because it's been a while.
Right. And as I let you go tonight, what would you like to let all of the Australian fans know?
A big thank you for the support. And I just hope that everybody can connect to Aspiral and get something out of it, and that we will see each other on the road, and everybody stay safe. And yeah, can't wait to come down to Australia, maybe even New Zealand as well, because the times we've been there, we've been only twice. It's worth the long flight.
Right. Simone, Aspiral is fantastic. Congratulations on a great album. Everyone's going to love it on April 11th. Thanks so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.